Mercedes takes the biggest fall off the pole. Autumn gotta find somewhere else to go. And Big Bone, Roulette, and Whisper have officially entered the group chat. What's good, y'all? It's your good sis Erica Vane coming to you right here on Erica Vane TV with another P-Valley video. In this video, I am breaking down episode number 2 from season 2. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So this episode opens up with auditions at the Pank. Cause what? We getting ready for the re-opening. That's supposed to be next week, but because of Miss Autumn Night, it's actually going to be tomorrow on Uncle Clifford's birthday. Now, y'all, there is so much happening in this episode. I thought that this episode was a 10 out of 10. It was so many things going on. Every single storyline is being moved forward, but it's also not like they're cramming too much into the episode where it's overwhelming. They literally just keep you engaged the entire time. And regardless of who your favorite character is, who your least favorite character is, we got info and updates on all of them, and I was just sitting there in awe for the most part. Well, in awe, and then also shaking my ass because the soundtrack for this episode was lit, period. We get the reopening of the Pank, we get Uncle Clifford's birthday, we get Mississippi doing what Mississippi does. Yeah, we were still rooting for you, and we're still very much so disappointed, Keyshawn. Do better. When are you gonna do better, girl? Because this ain't it, mama. Period. But I'm not gonna start the video ranting. We got a ton of Miss Ernestine giving all that we need, and we get a sensual moment of LIL MURDA coming hat in hand, and I live for it. This episode, y'all, it's only episode number 2, and we getting all this. All right. So I'm going to jump around a little bit as I talk about the things that are going on in this episode, so it won't be in chronological order. But when you feel froggy, when you feel like you want to chime in, please feel free to drop a comment and respond in the comment section down below on what your favorite parts, your least favorite parts. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, because you know I got hella concerns when it comes to Miss Keyshawn, drop those in the comment section as you are watching so that we can keep this conversation going, because I will be replying back to y'all. I promise. I got y'all. Also, if you haven't already, follow me on your favorite social media site, because I was posting my live reactions on TikTok as I watch the episode, and I typically do that on IG. Can't promise y'all where I'm gonna do it. I just do go with whatever feels, you know, the best, or what I want to do in the moment. And I happen to do for this episode, I did it on TikTok, so go ahead and follow me over there at ericavane.com if you would like my in the moment as I'm watching reactions, thoughts, screams, squeals, and a little bit of rants, because you know your good sis, she just be ranting. Also, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Everything is at ericavane.com. Go ahead and follow me there so that while you're waiting for these breakdown videos to post, you still will get a little bit more content and conversation. Okay, for real. Let's really get into the video. Miss Autumn Night, you gonna come down to the carpet first, mama. Come down to the carpet first. Because I don't understand you. Every now and again, you give moments of loyalty, of I'm trying to build a family. These are my people, and I got them. I want to do what's right. You was handing Corbin his hat, honey, in that little impromptu meeting when him and Andre come storming into the Pink because they want to make a deal with their little busted ass $500,000 offer. Miss Haley, Miss Autumn Night said, this is a little offer. I'm gonna need a big offer. And the big offer was going to start at $10 million. You said $500,000. I'm going to need $10 million. Child, when I say that Corbin lost his and he like literally jumped into his little white side for a second, because it totally came out, y'all. He was literally like, the audacity. You was just shaking your ass butt naked for 17 cents last 6 months ago. And it's just like, oh, is that really how you feel? Because you was just spread eagle getting your ass beat by Keyshawn and having all types of stuff pulled over you and dumping thousands of dollars into the Pank. So we gonna pull up the past, or we not? Can't hear you. Speak up, Corbin. Because while we talking about what we was doing in the Pank, you was also up in the Pank, getting filleted, fried, dyed, and laid to the side and enjoying every bit of it. She said 10 million. She didn't stutter. And I loved it. She was able to deliver that without flinching. Uncle Clifford is sitting there like, yeah, period. The only problem with this is that it looks like by the end of the episode, if this $10 million offer come through, because her and Andre are parlaying by the end of the episode, and he confirming with her basically, so if we get 10 million, you gonna actually sell. And she's like, yeah, I'm always ready to roll. We're gonna come back to that. But what Uncle Clifford got to worry about is that she is actually willing to sell. Uncle Clifford don't actually want to sell. And this is the point where I just started to lose the little slightest bit of hope, because I told y'all last week I'm biased against Haley. I don't really like her. I didn't like her from the beginning. I don't trust her. And I don't know if it's bias now or if I can really identify with the fact that I just don't trust her. She just gives very much so snake vibes. And y'all know, if you follow on my channel, you know how I feel about snakes. Me and snakes don't get along. I don't do reptilians, okay? So she's just not trustworthy. And I think that in the moment with the meeting with Uncle Clifford and Andre, Uncle Clifford can feel like, oh yeah, you know, Haley got my back and we in this together. But her parlaying after she gets kicked out of Mercedes' house, which we're gonna talk about as well in this video, with Andre at the pink after, it's like she talking about she's always ready to go. She never put her clothes up in the closet because she always got to get, you know, be ready to be on the move. And it's like, girl, you literally have the opportunity to build a family, to build a community, to build friendships here. And yes, you can run because you've been running your entire life, but look at what that has gotten you. Not to say that all the stuff that happened to you when you were a victim of sexual abuse and all that, you know, Montavious was doing was not your fault at all. I'm not saying that, but girl, the running, it has to stop at some point. Are you gonna spend all of your life running? You sitting up here buddying up, cozying up to Andre, and you know that he's married. Is this the type of woman you are? Like, at some point, Haley, Lakeisha, Autumn Night, you gonna have to pick one, honey. You gonna have to pick one and stick to it. Who are you? Who is the woman that you want to be? You really need to decide that, because right now, you're just giving irritation. You're just giving frustration. You're just giving, you cannot trust this little light bright girl. And I'm sorry to all the amazing, loyal, dope ass light bright women. No offense to you, but Haley, I'm on her head. I'm on her head. She is just moment by moment. She's like taking 2 steps forwards and 3 steps back. And I feel like her and Keyshawn, for me, are in a race to hell and a race to the bottom and a race to like me never ever really respecting them again. And I hate to watch it. However, I really enjoy to watch it because the way that Katori Hall tells the story, ooh, it's top tier, baby. It is top tier. When you can have muddled waters of the villain, because like low-key, I'm gonna go ahead and say it now, y'all, low-key, Haley is actually the villain of the season. I can feel it. Like, I feel that Autumn Night is literally going to be the villain of this season. And when I say the muddled waters, is because she's like really towing the line. Like, she's jumping back and forth of the line. Is she friend? Is she foe? Is she friend? Is she foe? Is she selfish or is she selfless? And she has moments of both. So it's never really clear of where she actually wants to be or where her allegiances really lie, even though we do know that her allegiances ultimately lie with herself. I love the like pseudo argument that they had towards the end when Mercedes kicked her out, when Mercedes was like, yeah, Montavia said that you're always going to do what's best for you and it took you forever to come back. And she was like, but I came back. And that also brought up into question Murder Night. And like, when we all, like the audience, thought that Haley was going to run, you know, Mercedes came in there, figured out that something was wrong and that Autumn was going to need help, comes in there to help, and then she has to go run and go get the money, and she has every opportunity to just leave Mercedes in that room with Montavious, and it does come to a point at one point that we really think that she's going to leave her there, but she doesn't. And that's literally where we're picking up with Haley's character in this season. And I think that she really hasn't made a choice. Like, while she's telling Andre at the end of the episode that she's ready to run at any point, I do believe that what she has cultivated with Mercedes is genuine. I do feel like she does have some type of love for Uncle Clifford. So I think throughout the rest of the season, we're really just going to see her battle back and forth with those two sides of her, those two desires of hers. Because whether you always ready to go, you never put your clothes in the closet, or all that stuff that you talk in, you are still very much so a person who wants to be wanted. You're very much so a person who wants to have family. You want to be a part of something bigger than yourself, Haley, and that's been something that's been very clear about you from early on. So at some point, you're gonna have to stop giving into your impulses and really pursue the things that you actually want and build something, honey. honey, instead of constructing these little pseudo tents and being ready to move at any given point and never really being able to settle and never really being able to be loved. But I didn't mean to go that deep. Haley's on my damn nerves in this episode. She didn't know that was Uncle Clifford's birthday when she moves up the damn Pink reopening. This is also why you have to communicate. You can't be out here just making decisions. If y'all agree that was going to open in the following week and then you just go ahead and change the flyers and don't say nothing, it's like, girl, what in the hell are you doing? This is not how you run business or how you become a partnership. And I get it. Uncle Clifford is very pushy as well, and y'all are really trying to figure out y'all mojo and y'all flow, and you feel like you got to put your foot down with some things, but this is not how you actually do it, Haley girl. I'm going to need you to have this same energy that you had with Corbin and use your damn words when it comes to Uncle Clifford, because y'all could be a very powerhouse team and take Pink to the next level. Like, this could be a whole like franchisee type of thing if you decide to stay your ass in Chuckalisa and start running and doing goofy and you open up your fucking mouth. Because ain't nobody gonna lie, like, Haley is definitely an asset. She knows money. You know, we saw that very early on in last season when she gave Andre all of that financial advice when they were trying to get the casino deal off the ground with Promised Land before. So yeah, just open your damn mouth, Haley, because you on my nerves, girl. Now, the second little mama that's on my nerves is Mississippi. However, I will say that after watching the episode a second time, I'm gonna give Mississippi a little bit of grace, because I think that she got a plan cooking in that little brain of hers, and I'm totally here for it. I want her to run immediately. I wanted her to take the olive branch that or not even the olive branch. I wanted her to jump through the escape hatch that Diamond was trying to give her ass last season when he was beating the hell up out of Derek and was going to end Derek for her, but she decided to pull that gun on Diamond and make everything 10 times worse. Now she is finally, I guess, getting to a place where she's tired. Like, throughout this episode, we get to see, you know, Derek is white man and the only way white man can do it. And I hate this for him. And when I say white man, and y'all, I'm speaking to the stereotypical patriarchal white man. Not every white man, but he is playing his role. Lord God help us. At the start of this episode, he is trying to talk to the sheriff to get Diamond arrested because Diamond assaulted him unprovoked, as if he didn't stand his goofy ass up in that damn bathroom and tell Diamond to his face that he do not understand how Keyshawn likes to hang around you gutter Negroes. And y'all know what the hell he said because y'all watched it. I'm not gonna say it here because I don't want YouTube to stop me from being able to make videos. He said it, then he decides to lie about it. Keyshawn calls him on it, kinda, in this episode, but he's trying to get Diamond arrested. He's throwing all these type of tantrums. He didn't get the managerial position. Clearly, at some point, we don't see this, but he knocks Keyshawn upside her head because she has a black eye halfway throughout the episode, and then she's still, you know, being nice and talking all calm. He's raising his voice and throwing tantrums. He's finding the diapers that she threw in the trash so that she could go run to the dollar store to see Diamond. It's just like, it's so much, and I just want her to leave. I get that we're getting told the story about the women who don't feel empowered to. I really struggle with this being Keyshawn's story just because she literally had a moment where it was her opportune time to leave Derek. I get that she didn't want Derek to die, but I don't know. Maybe she just has to get to where she's at now. In this episode, we get to see her brain cooking up a little bit of a plan. She brings her manager Rome into it. Like, she tells Rome to come and talk to Derek about the tour. But then when she does start to talk to her about the tour, then she starts to call him on certain things in reference to how the money could be funny, and calls that out in front of Derek and makes it seem as though she don't actually want to go on the tour. But then after, you know, that conversation, she lets him know, like, yo, I got it from here. So I'm like, oh, okay. Are you setting it up so that you could go on the tour? Because by the end of the episode, Derek admits to her that, like, yo, I didn't get the manager position because she's like, yo, I want to buy this for the kids. And he's like, we can't do that because I didn't get the manager position. And then, you know, she sexually, you know, seduces him and convinces him to let her go on tour. And because she's like, yo, I got it. Let me take care of us. I got it. And that, to me, feels like the first step in her plan. Because, like, if she brought that up to make it known, then when it comes up later on, he won't be able to say that she's lying, right? So if she goes on this tour and she decides to not take up, you know, Rome and all the accommodation that he was planning, but still gonna come out of her cut anyway, but like has that money tucked, but it still looks like she did X, Y, and Z, then she can start to build a little nest egg so that when she runs and when she leaves, she will have something for herself. It's not really clear yet, like how their money is working, especially now that Derek isn't actually like the breadwinner or whatever. And she does have her online stuff. She does have her managers. Like, it would seem like it's a little bit easier for her to funnel money away and to keep him in the dark in reference to how much she's actually bringing in. But part of me feels like all of what was going on is like she was like setting certain things up so that later on she could use it. Like, I really got frustrated at the first watch with her like talking about, you know, Diamond yelled at me and helping Derek get all more riled up about him. And then when I went back and watched it the second time, I'm like, okay, but she also called him on the whole gutter Negro comment. So was this just a distraction? Was this just a ploy? Like, is there more going on here? And Keyshawn isn't just being a little simple girl that we think that she's being. And I'm really hoping so. Like, I'm really hoping that she actually has a plan, that she's trying to construct some type of scheme or strategy to run and take her kids with her. However, the type of person that Derek is, it's not like he's going to just be okay with her taking both of his kids and never seeing them again. So in all honesty, last season was going to be the best possible scenario if Diamond had killed him, because if he's still alive, he's never going to stop coming for her or those kids. But you know, we are watching the story play out, so I'm here to watch it. I'm just going to lay off of Keyshawn a little bit because I do see the wheels turning and I do see her wanting to do something. She put back on Diamond's necklace in that first watch. I was pissed about that. I was like, give me that damn necklace. I was about to, like, I be feeling like I want to, you know, do her, like, you know, like T.I. did do in Atlanta. Give me that necklace. But I think that was a little bit of symbolism for her getting the courage that she needs to go. So that's what I'm putting together and watching it. And I'm like, okay, there's something else happening here. Like I said at the top of this video, there was so much happening in this episode. They did such a beautiful job of just the multifaceted storytelling across all of the different storylines. It's literally top tier chef's kiss. Katori, thank you. My God. But that's what's happening over there with Keyshawn. I think that we're about to see her get out of this situation. Now, is she going to be able to make it right with her pink fam and with Diamond? We don't know, but it's going to be one step at a time. And first things first is to get her from up under that menacing white man, okay? Ugh. Every episode, he just is worse and worse. Anywho, one of my favorite parts of the episode is when LIL MURDA comes to try to apologize in person because the text messages haven't been being replied to, and he realizes that he gonna have to get his ass up and go say something. Now, Uncle Clifford, we get it, baby, because you know this could potentially be the love of your life. That's not necessarily confirmed just yet, but by golly, Miss Molly, they are a ship, okay? And you know, you still mad, and we get it. So Uncle Clifford is ducking LIL MURDA, but LIL MURDA is able to see Uncle Clifford standing behind the door as Ernestine is listening, because he comes and he's like, I just wanted to come and apologize. His rapport is still so great with Mr. Ernestine. It's like, LIL MURDA, you got everything that we need except for the backbone when it comes to real life. It's like you were one of the first people to say, what are we going to do? X and Y in the dark, because again, y'all, this is a little X-rated, y'all fill in the blanks, but you were the first one to point that out, like how you didn't want to do it. And in the first moment that you started to get some success, get some eyes on you, and get a little male chauvinistic patriarchal view that would have some type of confliction with what your lifestyle is and what your like is, and then you decide to throw that out the window, and it's just like, ugh, we hate this for you. But he comes and he gives the most genuine, honest apology. And it's the tap on the door for me, because you know Uncle Clifford's right there. It's the when you realize Uncle Clifford was in the, like you saw, look in the mirror and saw Uncle Clifford's on the other side of that door, and the bated breath and the like, oh, getting a little choked up. It's like, oh, you really love her. That's what we love to see. That was one of my favorite moments. I think my favorite storyline for the whole episode, it definitely had to be Uncle Clifford's, whether it was the fight with with Autumn Night after the after the auditions, because she decides to move the damn opening date up onto Uncle Clifford's birthday, to that moment with LIL MURDA, which was absolutely beautiful, to the friends, because you know, grandmother Aunt Ernestine, don't play that, you turning 40 and it needs to be a celebration, you are such an amazing individual. That you know, she calls up, you know, the crew, they kidnap you, real like, these my people type stuff. Like, it seems a little sketch at first, but then it turns out to be them taking them to her surprise birthday party, and that is a complete and utter vibe. Uncle Clifford looked immaculate, face card on 100 out of 10. Like, everything was actually given. We got the moment where, you know, they, you know, see the little lookalike to LIL MURDA, and Uncle Clifford is like visualizing like, oh, that's my babe, but then it's not my babe. And I was on TikTok and I was like, oh, not baby in there, but he wasn't actually there, because child Lord, I wanted that to be the case too. But you fantasizing about him, and that also caused, you know, all of this to come up while you and the girls are talking, while you and the crew is talking, and you like blurt out all of what happened with y'all and how you so heartbroken. And I loved how her friend was like, if LIL MURDA is what you want, you need to go after that little nigga, period, point blank, period. Because look at you out here imagining that he's there, you on the other side of it, like, you doing all this stuff, like, we get it. He got some learning and growing to do, but y'all gotta figure it out, because y'all both want each other so badly, and they don't know this, but we as the audience know this. And it was just so beautiful to watch. Like, I love Uncle Clifford as a character in this episode. I just loved all the beats of her storyline. It was just so entertaining and endearing and relatable to watch. Watching her stand on the other side of that door, I was just like, I've done goofy shit like this. Like, I don't want to talk to you, but I want to hear what you gotta say. Anywho, this episode literally was a 10 out of 10. Okay, Mercedes, baby. My poor Mercedes, who continues to be going through. All Mercedes ever wanted to do was get her daughter back, coach her daughter to win a championship in dance, retire from stripping, and get some good. That's all she ever wanted in this life of sin, and she cannot seem to have it ever since Autumn Night has entered her life. The fact that Autumn wants to audition new girls because they need new girls. The Pink is reopening. Okay, cool. Enter Miss Roulette and Miss Whisper. Oh, and also Big Bone, who can't do nothing on the pole, but body is on 500,000, face is on 1 million. So, you know, Miss Autumn Night goes ahead and overrules Mercedes and picking all the girls, and only allows her to pick Whisper and Roulette, because they're gonna be her freaking frack. They're gonna be her Kelly and Michelle. Okay, cool. They a vibe. We gonna come back to Big Bone in Autumn Night. Okay. So Mercedes, like, girl, you want to retire, I guess, because just seeing, I guess, with the COVID and like with the pandemic and what it has done to businesses, maybe the gym isn't necessarily a viable option anymore, especially now that she's trying to open the gym back up and most of the girls can't afford to come there, right? So maybe now that's why she's doubling down into stripping. But I'm like, girl, you wanted to get up out of here, and now you trying to compete with your Kelly and your Michelle, and that got you up on this damn pole doing things that you don't had no business doing, and now all of a sudden you falling from the sky. And I was just like, oh my word. The way that I held my breath while they slow motion dropped Mercedes from that damn pole, I was just beyond stressed. And I understood why she did it, but I still just like, girl, this isn't actually what you want. Like, you don't want to be Queen Bee for forever. So like, why are we here? What are we doing? But again, that pushed her to the point to push her limits, and then also basically make her fall off the pole. And I believe this is the first time that she's ever done this. Backup has to get called. Uncle Clifford gets called from her party, and Uncle Clifford's like, okay, the hospitals are backed up because clearly COVID. They take her to Diamond's house, and Diamond does some root work on her and reveals that the weight that she felt in her arms was about 7 pounds, because he removes it, and it has something to do with the spirit of Montavious and what happened that night. And we learn basically indirectly that Mercedes is the one who killed him, because Diamond says it takes 7 pounds of force to shoot a gun, and he took 7 pounds out of Mercedes' arm. The whole exorcism part for me, I was just like, oh, this is really happening. But what I do appreciate is they just open up the P-Valley world to something completely more. Like, witchcraft has just entered the chat, root work has just entered the chat. I don't know if we're gonna go down the voodoo route, but that potentially has just entered the chat, and it adds a layer to these people's lives within rural southern United States, and it's very real, specifically for Black people. If you don't know, root work by definition is a traditional form of healing and hexing in the coastal regions of southeastern United States, especially of people of Black descent, specifically Caribbean or African descent, right? So I'm gonna look a little bit more into it. I went to school in New Orleans, y'all know, so I'm very familiar with, or not very familiar because I don't know how to do it, but I have been exposed to voodoo, and watching that happen on the screen, not voodoo, but the root work that was happening, I was like, yo, this is just adding so many more layers to this story, and how they're going to continue to carry out the fallout of Montavious is going to be interesting. Another thing, I didn't see this until my second watch, but when Autumn Night is at the Pink, because she gets put out of Mercedes' house after they get, you know, all of that taken care of for Mercedes like, I'm done, you gotta go. You know, in my dreams I keep hearing Montavious say that you're gonna run and that you are disloyal and this and that, and she's like, but I came back for you, and she's like, nah, it took you a while, I don't trust it. And I get it, I totally get how Mercedes is angry. That night wasn't technically Autumn Night's fault, but she also wasn't honest. Like, she could have just, things could have just been handled way differently, right? But when Autumn is back at the Pink and she goes to get some liquor from the bar, and we get that moment where they look up at the security cameras, there's a moment where there's a flash of Montavious's body back in the Paradise's room, and then it blinks away, and I'm just like, this is not the end. Just because they took that 7 pounds out of her arm, okay, cool, but his spirit or whatever is still very much so in the Pink. Diamond also makes a note, like, Autumn Night offers him a job, and he's like, nah, I probably should stay away from there. He explains, like, he has his ring, Montavious's ring, at his house in this little shrine that he built to be able to keep certain spirits away and to keep Montavious where he is, where they dispose of the body. However, Diamond, I guess, is not aware at this moment that the spirit is very much so still in the Pink, or in the Paradise room. And we get a little nod to this at the top of the episode when Mercedes has Roulette and Whisper go into the Paradise room with her to practice, or go into the room before the Paradise room to practice, and the doors open, and then the little pole in there starts moving, and Whisper has an ability to speak to spirits and to call upon the universe and get answers. So she's drawn into the room and it's like, oh, let's ask the question. And she definitely gets a little bit more than what she's letting on to, but then also Autumn Night comes running in talking about some, y'all gotta go perform right now, so they're not able to continue on. Whisper is either intrigued or scared, I can't really tell. And that, when you go back and think about it, by the time you watch the rest of the episode, it's like, oh, this is about to get mad real, like realer than real. And I'm here for it, actually. I'm so here for it. I don't know nothing about root work and witchcraft, but I don't mind watching it in this story. Okay. Now, before I get out of here or finish this breakdown video, we do got to talk about rusty, dusty ass Andre, who is riding Corbin's coattails to try to get this deal done for them to still be able to get the Pink, because they want to try to bring Promised Land back in and still get this casino off the ground. At this point, I just want to be like, sir, why are you here? Like, I want Andre to say whether he wants his wife or not. I want Andre to say what he wants. I want Andre to brush his damn hair and shave that beard and do something with himself. Like, I get that you're grieving God Daddy and all that, and he's coming to find out that God Daddy was a different person than he expected. He finds out about how he's paying people's water bill, or allowing people to use all his water so that he could pay the bill, or robbing the city to be able to pay people's water bill. Okay, cool. I still need a little bit more clarity on that before I be like, all right, yeah, he's great, amazing, because he was also a little bit raggedy. And then we also get a moment for us to really ground and figure out what it is that he's so attracted to, or attached to his goddaddy about, because last season it seemed like his goddaddy was just disrespectful of him and treated him horribly, and it was just like, okay, so y'all like goddaddy and godson in name only, but no, we get to watch a little VHS that he plays back, and we get to see that he was actually closer to Mayor Ruffin than he was his actual father, because Mayor Ruffin believed in him very early on, and that's where the whole relationship began and got stronger. Okay, cool. But you still rusty, dusty, Andre. You still running around here lusting after Autumn and wanting to cheat on your wife. And it's like, let that lady go. If you don't want her no more, please free her from the shackles of your horrible marriage and your lackluster, now ridiculous ass appearance, because I can't. I really just can't. Autumn, like, you know that this man is married, and by the end of the episode, y'all standing here in the middle of the paint hugging your two lonely, want to be abandoned ass souls. Meanwhile, you have plenty of people around y'all that love y'all and have been trying to do right by y'all and have been trying to, you know, care for you. Meanwhile, you seem to find a way all the time to mess it up and or run. And it's just like, I can't with the both of you. Ren and damn Stimpy, get the hell on. I can't. Andre, figure out what the hell you want to do, make a decision and do that shit. And Haley, get it together, get a damn therapist and ground yourself, lady, because I can't. Aside from that, Ernestine gave me everything I needed, because Loretta Devine is everything. And I love the additions of Whisper, Roulette, and Big Bone. Big Bone, you might not be able to do nothing on the pole, but you was gorgeous, mama, and you was adding a little bit of flavor, flair, and definitely some conflict, because the girls don't like you busting it down on the bar, but it is what it is. It's interesting. I can't wait to see like really how Roulette and Whisper's dynamic play out, because they really do give me like air and fire. Like Roulette got an attitude. Roulette might speak, she might not. Whisper is very much so like, she seems welcoming, she seems calm, she seems to go with the flow. She's giving me either air or water. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see how it all plays out next week. Well, actually, I'm gonna do a preview video for next week, so I'm not gonna get into the trailer for next week. But now it's your turn. I'm so sorry that the video was this long, y'all, but like I said, it was so much to talk about, so many things going on, and it's such an amazing episode. Now it's your turn to let me know what you think in the comment section down below. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, give me some lips in the comments so I know that you're a real one, and I gotta show you some extra special real love. Yeah, and yeah, just tell me everything that you're thinking in the comments. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.